Good morning, class. So, today we are starting a new chapter, that is respiratory system. We know in our life processes, we are having lots of systems in our body which are working together in a coordination. And out of those systems, respiratory system is one of the important system of our body. So today we will discuss about that system, why that system is important, what is the function of it, which kind of systems are present in which kind of organisms. So all things we'll discuss in detail here in this chapter. First of all, we are talking about the respiratory system. So system is related to the respiration. If the system is there, it means this system is related to the process that is respiration. Means we can say that respiration is a process which is actually happening in the body, and to complete this process, the system which is present in our body, that is known as the respiratory system. So question is, what is the meaning of respiration? Respiration actually a catabolic process where breaking down of glucose takes place. Means if we see the actual definition of respiration, basically what we understand by the respiration, we think that only we are inhaling the air or exhaling the air, that is the meaning of the respiration, but that is not the complete respiration, that is only a part of respiration. If we see the main purpose of the respiration, then here is the main purpose or the definition of the respiration, that it's a catabolic process where breaking down of glucose takes place. What does that mean? Means while we are eating the food is the food is digested by the digestive system into the glucose. But our body requires the energy, not the glucose. So then what happens? The glucose is again further broken down into the smaller pieces, and the energy will be released, and that liberated energy is used by the body. So for that particular process, for that breaking down of glucose, our body requires the oxygen. And how we are taking the oxygen? Through the process of respiration or through the process of breathing. And the breathing is a part of respiration. That's why we can say that respiration actually is a catabolic process where breaking down of glucose takes place. Okay, what reaction takes place actually in this respiration? If we see the reaction, then what happens here, that the glucose molecule is there in the presence of oxygen. Here is the glucose molecule in the presence of oxygen which we are inhaling. This oxygen breaks down this glucose into the carbon dioxide and the water molecules, which are again exhaled out in the breathing, and then finally the 38 ATP which are released in the respiration. These ATPs are used as the energy molecules by the body. Now we're moving further for the types of respiration. That what are the types of respiration present in the different organisms? Types of respiration. First, on the presence or absence of oxygen. Means first we are looking the type of respiration on the basis of presence or absence of oxygen. These are two types. First is the aerobic respiration. Now, I think aerobic respiration means the air is involved here. Air is present. If the air is present, we can say that in the presence of oxygen only this type of respiration will take place. And this type of respiration, more amount of energy is released here, energy is liberated. Now we see the second type, that is the anaerobic respiration. Then air is absent here. Means if the oxygen is not present there, then only this kind of respiration will take place, and this will liberate only the less amount of energy. Means we can say only approximately 2 ATPs are released here in this anaerobic respiration. Here the example of the anaerobic respiration is the yeast for the alcohol production, and this process is also known as fermentation. In our body also, in human body, in the muscles, during vigorous exercise, anaerobic respiration is shown where the lactic acid form, lactic acid accumulates in our muscles, and which is a reason for muscle cramps. Okay, now we move further. There are different organisms which are doing the respiration by the different respiratory system, like the uh, annelids, which are doing the respiration through the skin, which is known as the cutaneous respiration. The aquatic organisms like the fishes, they are doing the respiration through the gills, and the other organisms like the insect, they are having the well developed tracheal system in their body, so they are doing the respiration through the trachea. Some organisms which are taken under the arachnida, uh, they are having the book lungs, some are having the book gills, and if we talk about the amphibians or the mammals or the reptiles which are having the pulmonary respiration because they are having the lungs in their body, so through that lung they are doing the respiration. If we talk about the amphibians, they are having the buccopharyngeal respiration. So these are the different types of respiration which are present in the different organisms. So we are leaving it here only, and we are moving further on the human respiratory system. Human respiratory system. What is it? If we see that we are inhaling the air through our nose, we are having the nose through which the air is entering in our body, and then after the nose, the air is moving the another part of the body, and then finally it is reaching to the lungs. So this is the respiratory tract which is present here in the body. That is actually the human respiratory system. So we will discuss what is the respiratory tract of the human beings, and which organs are included in that respiratory tract. We see the first part of it, that is the nostrils, or which are also known as the external nares. Means if we see the two openings which are present at our nose, these two openings through which the air is entering in the body, that two openings are actually the nostrils or the external layer through which the air enters inside the body. Then further these nostrils are again opening into the nasal cavity. So both the openings are opening inside the nose, that is the cavity-like structure where the nostrils are opening. So the air is, after entering into the nostril, the air is moving into the nasal cavity. In the nasal cavity, it is separated by nasal septum. So we see one structure is present inside the nose. From the inside, it is separating both the openings. This cavity is separated by this structure, that is the nasal septum. Now, inside this nasal cavity, there are three structures. The first structure is the vestibular region, which is present inside the nasal cavity. This is the lowermost part of the nasal cavity. Here the hairs are present, and what is the function of the hair? The filtration. Means they are doing the filtration of the air. So the air which is entering inside the body, the air is containing a lot of dust particles and the other unwanted particles in that air which are not necessary for the body. So those particles are filtered here by the hairs by the hairs which are present in the vestibular regions. Second, next part is the respiratory region. Meaning of the respiratory region, here the internal surface of this respiratory region is made by pseudostratified ciliated columnar glandular epithelium. The internal surface of this respiratory region is made by this kind of epithelial, that is pseudostratified ciliated columnar glandular epithelium, where the mucous glands are present, the mucus glands are present, which actually secretes the mucus. And because of the mucus, the internal area of the nose become the the soft, and we don't feel the dryness inside the nose. The third part which is present in the nasal cavity, that is the olfactory region. And this olfactory region is responsible for the smell of anything. So once the air is entered inside the body through the nostrils, it is moving to the nasal cavity, which is actually divided by the septum, that is the nasal septum. And here three regions are there: the vestibular region, the respiratory region, the olfactory region. Inside this nasal cavity, some more structures are there. The structures are the nasal conchae and nasal sinus. These are the bony structure which are present inside the nasal septum. This nasal sinus is present, it's made by the four bony structure, that is the maxillary, frontal, ethmoid, and sphenoid. These structures are present inside the nasal cavity. Once the air has reached to the nasal cavity, it has passed to all these regions, then it will further move to the next part of the respiratory tract, that is the internal nares. It means we can say that the nasal cavity is opening into the internal opening, that is the internal nares. And this internal nares is also known as choane. After the internal layers are opening into the pharynx. This is the fourth part of the respiratory tract, and we know that pharynx is the common opening between food pipe and windpipe. Means if we see the structure, suppose this kind of structure is there. From here, this is the food pipe, and here it is the windpipe. So this part, this region, this is the common opening, is known as the pharynx. And here the flap-like structure is present in this pharynx. That flap-like structure, this one, is actually the epiglottis. What is the function of the epiglottis? While we are eating the food, it will close the windpipe so that it will prevent that food to enter into the windpipe, or it will prevent anything which we are eating, that will prevent that thing to go into the windpipe. So this is the function of the pharynx and the epiglottis. After the pharynx, the air will move further into the next part, and that next part is the larynx. Larynx is in the humans, that is also known as sound box or voice box. If we talk about birds, in the birds it is also known as syrinx. So if we see the name of the larynx, that is also known as the sound box, it means this larynx is basically responsible for the production of the sound. So if we are speaking, if we can speak something, that is just because of the larynx, because the larynx is giving us the sound or the voice. Now if we see the larynx in the detail, this larynx is made of 9 cartilaginous structure. 9 cartilages, it is made by the 9 cartilages. Out of these 9, 3 are single and 3 are paired. Which singles cartilages are present here? That is thyroid cartilage, next is cricoid cartilage, and then next is the epiglottis. In some books, you may find that the epiglottis is not considered as a part of the larynx, then there will be the 8 cartilages. Otherwise, if we consider it, it will be the 9 cartilages. If we talk about the 3 paired cartilages, then they are the arytenoid, then corniculate, and cuneiform. These are the paired cartilages. So larynx is made by these kind of cartilages. We see the structure of the cartilages in detail, then we'll find these kind of structure. This big one is the thyroid cartilage, which is a single, and in this thyroid cartilage, one special structure is there, that is known as the Adam's apple. Here it is also single cartilage, that is the epiglottis, which we have discussed. I know it is a flap-like structure. This bottom one is the cricoid cartilage. If we see the paired cartilages in here, the two are the arytenoid cartilage. Here these two are the corniculate cartilage, and these two are the cuneiform cartilages. In between, you can see these two are, this one is the true vocal cord, and this upper one, this one is the false vocal cord. Now These true and false vocal cord are actually helping in the production of the sound. This true vocal cord is basically mostly the responsible for the production of sound. While we are exhaling the air is coming out from the body, from the lungs it is coming. Then it will come and it will give the compression to this true vocal cord, and it it will get some kind of uh, fluctuations in this vocal cord, and then it will produce the sound. The false vocal cord is not basically responsible for the production of sound, but it is just helping the true vocal cord in the production of the sound. So in the larynx, the true vocal cord is responsible for the production of sound during the exhalation, and the other cartilages are making the structure of the larynx, and they are helping the vocal cords and the production of them. Next, after this larynx, the air moves to the next part of the respiratory system, and that is the trachea. Trachea is basically also known as the windpipe. It is 10 to 12 centimeter long, which contains 16 to 20 C-shaped rings, which are cartilaginous, is made of cartilages. And why they are C-shaped, why they are incomplete at the backward side? Because they prevent the collapsing of trachea. At the internal surface of the trachea, some goblet cells are also present, and these goblet cells secretes the mucus. So after reaching the trachea, the air moves to the next part, that is the bronchus part. Here, this bronchus opens into both the lungs, means right bronchus and the left bronchus, to the left and right lungs. Right bronchus is smaller than left bronchus. All the bronchus are further divided into the 1 degree bronchia, 1 degree bronchi, 2 degree bronchi, 3 degree bronchi, and then finally they are again divided into the bronchioles. Structure wise, if we see the bronchus, then we'll find this kind of structure. So here this is the trachea, where C-shaped cartilaginous rings are there. This is the tracheal part. This trachea is again opening into the bronchus. This one is the bronchus. This bronchus is again dividing into the next part, that is the primary bronchi. Then this one is the secondary bronchi, and further you can divide it into the next part, that is the tertiary bronchi, and then further it will divide into the bronchioles. Then both the bronchioles are again opening into the lungs. Sorry, the bronchioles are again opening into the alveolar sac, and the sac, inside the sac lots of alveoli are present, and the alveoli are the last point of the air which the air is reaching, and then at the alveoli only the gaseous exchange takes place. This everything start from the bronchus, the bronchi, the bronchioles, alveolar sac, and the alveoli, all everything these are present in the lungs. So now the next part of this chapter is the lungs. We'll discuss it in the next class. So till here, this is the respiratory tract. The last part of the respiratory tract is the alveoli, where the air is reaching and the gaseous exchange is taking place here in the alveoli. Now these things are opening into the lungs, so we'll discuss the structure of the lungs, the function of the lungs, and the different types of respiration, and everything about this chapter will next class. Till then, bye bye, have a nice day.